As somebody that likes to over-explain himself, I've gotten way more patient about not giving a shit. Because at the end of the day, when I think about the relationships and connections I want to make with some people, I'm just like, I don't see any farther than the skin deep. I go deeper than that. Some people I see, deeper than the intelligence. I don't want shit from your skin. I don't give a fuck about that. So when it comes to a lot of these shallow interactions, connections with people I make, more or less like, I'm not the type to cold interact with people in person. I'd rather not. Like, I believe it's 99% of my social media consumption seeing a lot of these where, because I see a mix between people don't mind being approached as well as people get extremely aggressive and reactive, almost damn near feral when it comes to being approached. And it's 99% on how the person that approaches them reacts that allows a thing to smooth out. Because, like, if I approach you with I can't say no nonsense because I'll be honest, I'm beyond the bullshit. Like, realistically, it's all I'm trying to do is how do I figure out how to communicate with you well enough to be able to touch your buns eventually, respectfully. Within time and reason, I do know that I gotta be able to be good enough, whatever the hell that means, to be able to get your approval. But first, we gotta do the flirting before we do the fucking. What's always confused me is like, it's not what you say always, it's how you say it, or it's who you are, it's how much money you have, it's this, that. Like, so many variables on why you may or may not get rejected. But 9 times out of 10, at least one thing I've learned is just confidence. All good with confidence, regardless if you get rejected or not. Just, hey, roll with the punches. It is what it is at the end of the day. And that's one thing I haven't really developed myself well enough to be able to do is just, yeah, rejection sensitivity is a big bitch in me. I learned that, like, many people have called that out on me, and the thing that I've developed to try to say as much as possible is, shit, you're right, you're right. Because there's no point arguing the truth, or at least in my world, in my opinion, how I feel and how I know things. I see the truth. I agree with your truth as my truth, as the truth. So therefore, nigga, when you right, you right. I ain't gonna argue that. At least that's me. Back to the point. I have no issues cutting it short with people. I'm an orphan. My own parents don't know me. Siblings, friends could be, but what I've come to, I don't know how to explain it in the words that I know. So I'm gonna try to slow my brain down a little bit more and find the words I'm looking for. So in my exploration for community, I've come to realize I want community in separate forms. Not only do I want that significant other that I can basically best friend with, bedroom freak with, date every single day, all this and all that. But the thing about me is things fit better in my head than they do in reality. And it's like, first you gotta understand I'm weird. Weird how? I don't know. You're gonna figure this out. I talk to myself. Why? Because I'm the realest nigga I know. I stim verbally as well as I do a lot of body fidgets. Like a lot of things I do are autistic coded, but if you're not educated in the DSM-5 or anything like that, then you're just gonna think I'm a madman. Because it's not just autistic coded shit I do. I also do a lot of ADHD coded shit. Sometimes I do some OCD coded shit. Sometimes I do some BPD as well as borderline personality coded shit. Essentially, what I'm trying to tell you is I'm a damaged motherfucker, but I do my best not to let the damage show. And publicly, for the most part, people wouldn't understand. That's more or less because they're not educated on that. But for those that know, they know. And for those that don't, well, whew. Yeah, there's just something weird about bro. Sometimes it's cool, sometimes not. And it's just understanding and being patient enough to be able to meet people where they're at. And how I feel for how I've lived my life is I more or less meet people where they're at instead of people meeting me where I'm at. Now, don't get me wrong. I have met people that have met me where I'm at, and I'm just like, wow, this shit feels weird. Stop that. Because I feel like when people meet me where I'm at, they meet me in like, I don't want to say that they meet me in a space where all the air is taken out of it, but it feels like an absolute void. Whereas where I meet people at, I feel like I meet people at where their emotions are lying. Yeah, I don't explain that. Like a tone deafening room, like you can hear the ambiance of the room. That's the noise in the room. It's a thing that you have to experience for you to get, because I'm trying to put it into words and I may not have the words to be able to put it into. Now, I'm just going to assume I don't have the words to put into, because what I've come to also learn and realize in life is there's a word for everything. Everything has a name. Just because I don't know the name of it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I just am not educated enough, or I might speak the wrong language, because there might not be a name for it in English, but there might be a name for it in French. There might be a name for it in Hindi. There might be a name for it in Spanish. There might be a name for it in so many other different languages, but the one I speak, I'm only limited to things that I know, and I am limited in the knowledge. But either way, I try at least my best when it comes to failing relationships, and I mean just like in general when it comes to communication. I don't ever call a female out of her name. I said I stopped and paused because I keep thinking of it. Because, like, when I try to make decorations of shit, I literally try to think of when the fuck is the last time I did it. Have I actually did it? As I'm saying shit. But no, I could say honestly, in the last 5 years, maybe even more, give or take, I've not called a female out of her name out of rejection, because at the end of the day, how am I going to get upset at you for not choosing poison? Now, I'm not saying I'm poisonous, but in your world I might be. So therefore, how am I going to get mad at you for not choosing something that's going to harm you in the long run? Now it might be your image, I don't know. It might be we're not emotionally compatible, I don't know. It might be we're not physically compatible, I don't know. It might be we're not intellectually compatible, I don't know. It might be we're not compatible just because you don't believe we're compatible, although astrologically or all this stuff. Like, there might be signs that say, oh, we'd be great together, but for the fact that we just can't communicate together, we'll never be great together. I don't know. I just know that I've seen so many types of relationships where it's just volatile, and so disgusting. I'm very cautious when it comes to spending more time around certain people. I don't get me wrong, like, I have my horror moments, but I'm still like, a whore don't need connections. There's been countless of people I've slept with, I ain't never got their name. And I know it might sound very reckless and it might sound stupid, but I'm just being honest. At the end of the day, it's my life. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to. I don't give a fuck if you're judging me. You're the judge supposedly, but are you living my life? Are you doing the same things am I doing? Are you experiencing things I'm experiencing? Because the most you can do is judge. Can you do what I do? Okay, didn't think so. Or maybe you can, but can you keep doing as long as I do? I didn't think so. Or maybe you can. But shit, it was given to me, not you. Fuck you. Either way. I'm trying to find fun in communication, but I feel as if I fail on communicating in a way that makes it engaging for others. But also, what I've come to realize is my pool of people that like to communicate like me is so much smaller compared to a pool of people that like to communicate like other people like to communicate. And what am I getting at is I don't know what I'm getting at. I think what I'm trying to say in all this madness is I'm trying to look for a meaningful relationship in the most unmeaningful way possible. So therefore, there's no way I'm going to get that meaningful relationship if I don't act meaningful in my intentions and in my interactions. Although I go more off of attraction compared to intention. So I go for a pretty body, a pretty face compared to, ooh, she looked like, ooh, she seemed like, ooh, fuck it. I'm starting to believe I talk to females for love of the game compared to the actual love of the want of the love. Because I also am, like, currently, as I'm thinking of these thoughts right now, and I've been battling this for at least a couple of days. I've done this more times than I want to actually be proud of, or I'm not even proud of this. I'm just staying as it is because it's just a blatant fact of my existence. I've talked to a couple married people, and this one married lady I'm talking to right now, or something like that, and I'm just like, for the fact that she started a not necessarily a relationship, there's no relationship there, we just communicate, barely, like, she'll be in my DMs, call me cute or some shit like that, because I'll post something on my Snapchat, that's besides the point, back to the story. So, I don't enact, there's the word I was looking for. I didn't enact the whole entire communication with her. She knew she was married when she hit me up on my Snapchat. She was the one that started talking to me, and I started talking to her, and just through more communication, subcontext, I figured, oh, she's married. Because she's not afraid to say my husband this, my husband that. I check her stories, all this and all that. And then I'm like, because she hopped in my DM. Why the fuck do I gotta hop out of her DM? Because I'm a decent human being. I guess, but she ain't the first one. She won't be the last one. Because at the end of the day, what's a marriage mean if your wife looking for me? I wasn't looking for her. That's literally the third time, actually. Third time. Uh, Two of them was due to social media. One was actually in real life. Actually, no. Numbers met down. I just realized there's four. Back to the point. So what I'm getting at is, or trying to get at, or trying to communicate. I don't really understand what the hell the whole entire security. I don't know. I know it says a lot about me for the fact that, like, oh, you'll mess with a married woman. That was not the plan. That was never the intent. That was never the fucking goal. She knew what the fuck she had. I know I'm single. Who the fuck am I hurting? Not a goddamn soul. But for the fact that I do play with the fire and know that this gonna burn one day, yeah, I'm an asshole. I'll admit to that. But I still contemplate, because I ain't slept with her. I almost wanted to say yet. It's not gonna happen. The communication's too horrible. And what I mean by that is, like, it seems like when I communicate with some of these females, because there's no one size fits all for any of them. Like, some of them want you to act like this. Some of them want you to act like this. Some of them want you to be aggressive. Some of them want you to be submissive. Some of them want you to only be aggressive out in public. Some of them want you to only be submissive out in public. And it's just like so many variables and everything seems like chemistry stuff for me, and I suck at fucking chemistry. So the possibility for me to be able to pursue anything serious with any of these females seems more or less of a delusional thing to me, but sometimes my head is like, oh, this gonna be fun, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be fun, and then by the time I wake up the next day, or I don't know, a couple hours later, or hell, maybe in a week or two later, I'm actually sitting back and I'm thinking about it. I'm just like, what if I was their man's right now? Like, what if I was the husband and my wife's out here cheating on me? But I also think, like, what if the dude's just a piece of shit, douchebag, all this and all that? And I'm like, but divorce is a thing, but I also grew up in an environment where domestic violence was also a thing. So therefore, divorce really ain't an option when it's just like you can get your ass beat. At that point, you might as well murder the motherfucker. That's my thoughts and opinions. You ain't gotta listen to shit that I say. I just be saying shit. So I'm thinking, like, the main reason I don't want to ever pursue anything serious with her is because the scorn of the love of scorn. Like, I don't really know how much he gives a shit about his wife, and I'm really trying to find out. But also, communication style, we generally, I'm not going to say we don't have anything to communicate about. Like, there's a lot of things I can talk about with anybody and everybody, but the problem is making it seem like it's interesting and engaging enough. And for the fact that I could talk about anything, I figure, in my opinion, I generally believe y'all the problems why I have issues talking with people. Nigga, I could talk about anything. Anything. And I guess I might as well give you an example. Bonnets. You know what? I ain't really ever worn one of these motherfuckers till I became an adult. I'll tell you what, I had a very, very, I wouldn't say very, very Caucasian upbringing. I would say, because in the family, there was a mix of just Honduran, Haitian, then Americans. We came from fucking black, I don't know what Hondurans are considered, American black, Haitian black, and then some Caucasians. And the thing is, I don't generally believe anybody's race or religion really got love or affection. It was just we were all neglected in that sense. And it seemed like for the longest time I didn't realize bonnets even existed, do-rags exist. I thought the only type of fucking brush was, I thought the standard brush was like the standard brush that you'd see for Caucasians, as well as like the standard combs for Caucasians. I didn't realize that there was shit for my hair, brushes and shit like that. It wasn't until I moved to Ohio that I was like, oh my God, there's more shit. Or, well, Ohio was the more shit part, and then it wasn't until I got older and moved around in Michigan that I realized black people had way more hair care products. It's just I was neglecting a lot of aspects that I didn't really realize until I got educated and realized, oh! Oh! Doing your best can still be bare minimum. Because I do believe, actually, no, I don't believe that they did the rest. I think they did what they legally had to do, in my personal opinion, from what I've known, from what I've experienced. Because I remember one of the biggest things that I used to get harped on and bitched on when I was younger is, you need to go to school or we're going to go to jail. And then I proceeded to miss like fucking 40 to 80 days worth of school in elementary. So, and to my knowledge, nobody went to jail or had any jail experience until at least I was a teenager, and that was in Midland. And that was because somebody wanted to have a fucking lead foot. And I only know about how many days I missed because I had to get my transcripts when I was trying to get my green card. And yeah, I remember my ex's mom and I had a conversation about that, and I told her I absolutely hated school. I hated the fucking way I felt going to school. I think the biggest thing that I hate about going to school is I hate the fact that I used to get so much glares. Nobody would make space for me, including my fucking sibling. Wow, you know. But that's life. I think that's generally where the rejection sensitivity starts from. It really does. A lot of things stem from childhood. I know this. I just don't always work on it. I don't really know how to work on it. Oh, exposure therapy. Just get rejected more publicly. Easier said than done. Because I'm like, oh, talk to people. People. No, fuck that. But when I'm at work, which is crazy, I think I handle rejection very well when I'm in uniform. But the uniform I was wearing said I'm not allowed to handle rejection. I'm like, y'all got us fucking basically harassing motherfuckers. Like, I'm glad I'm not at where I currently. I'm glad I'm not where I used to work at. Where was I going with this? Rejection sensitivity. I need to be more exposure therapy about being rejected more, because at the end of the day, it is fine. They might see me as poison. That's also fine. I could also be a gift, but if you don't accept gifts, or if you're not accepting gifts right now, you can't force a gift. To force something is to force out shit. Or at least that's how I think, and that's how I believe. That's why I don't really force anything. If you want to leave, the door's always open. If you want to come back, well, this place might not even exist. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But if you want to leave, by all means, please do. You always have the option to leave. I'm a monster, but not like them. Whoever they may be, but I will admit, I have a lot of monster tendencies. But my awareness has allowed me to at least control myself well enough not to be imprisoned by my own actions. And now I might be imprisoned by other people's actions and thoughts and opinions, but hey, I know I'm not guilty. But how am I supposed to prove a crooked court system? That's one of the things that upsets me the most about existence. Some people are guilty and in prison, and some people are guilty and they're free. Now, sometimes you want to argue finances, and sometimes you want to argue community. I say the system failed either way. But I mainly came out here because I'm trying to sweat more, drink more water, piss out. I have a theory I'm about to test about 14, 16 hours. I don't know. Maybe less, maybe more. I don't know. I just know that time and patience, as well as numbers. When you put in enough numbers, you give enough time, you give enough patience, you'll get your results. What I mean by putting in enough numbers, from at least what I'm understanding, is I don't know. I know 10,000 hours to become a professional, supposedly, which is about a year and some change. But it's also continuously continuing to do and then keeping up the motion. But when it comes to repetitions, to be able to, I don't even know what I'm shooting for. Death is such an easy goal to obtain. The fact that I keep doing these other things just, I don't know. Because I keep thinking about younger me. Would I even be proud of myself? I didn't even see myself being this old. I kept telling people I was going to be dead 10 years ago. I'm 28 for the record. All this shit's borrowed time. Fuck, I've been saying I was on borrowed time since 20. I don't say as much publicly because that's depressing, that's deep, nigga, it's my life. You ain't got to listen. And you're right, I don't have to bring it up all the time, but I don't bring it up all the time. I just happen to bring it up all the time that you're around me. Either way. I'm fortunate enough not to be stuck in the places that other people try to make me feel as if I was stuck in. And I refuse to believe that she is only worth her skin. And I refuse to be temperamental over the fact that she won't give me any. Because I am more than just a horny bastard. I'm an intelligent, horny bastard with patience and education. And when somebody says no, if you have a if you have a handful of cash, somebody will exchange that for a piece of ass. And I know that. It's called a bartering system. Or money transfer, I don't know. Sometimes it don't even have to be cash. Sometimes you just have to be charming, charismatic, and that's just like a lot of lie and manipulation, in my opinion. It's like, I am charming, I am charismatic, but about you? Why? Why do I have to be charming and charismatic about you? I'm kidding, like, Uh, I don't know. I feel like the only time I'm charming and charismatic about a person is when I really want to be in the bedroom with them. And it's like after that. So I feel like to me, it's extremely performative. So after I'm done with that performance, or once I get the role that I want after that performance, it's like, why'd you stop? It's like, well, I won the prize. What the fuck you mean why'd I stop? So I try not to be performative to begin with because like I knew what I came here to get. I'm not giving the best performance to get it because at the end of the day, it feels like heavy manipulation. So if I give a shitty performance, I still don't get it. Well, what do I expect? And also, you're not the only supplier. I was just trying to make you my favorite, or at least my most consistent. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not upset either way. I'm actually happier when they get away from me. I know it sounds fucked up and weird, but it's just like, well, I generally do hope the next one can make her happier. I did what I could do, and she slipped through. Sounds a little predatory, doesn't it? JoJo's a monster. I'm just a bad one. Also, it reminds me of this one chick. I don't know. Just because it's on my head, I want to swap more. We don't have a relationship, but been known her on and off for years, blah this, blah that. And I text her a nice half to full paragraph of something very cerebral. And I'd say she's probably the only one that knows. Well, not the only one, but one of the small few that knows the most rawest, cerebral, most psychotic version of me. And I text her something along the lines of, it might sound creepy, so I'm gonna try my best to. I suck at trying to paraphrase or even remember word for word anything I say. So it was along lines of her being like a boomerang. No matter how much or how often she goes away from me, she comes back to me, which isn't too far off because she did come back. Did she respond back to that now? She blocked me again. I fucking love it. We're not even in the same state anymore. I don't know why she keeps on blocking me and fucking... Because, like, when we're in the same state, I think of it like this. The devil has tricks, and she's one of them. So, I know I'm weird. I said that earlier. Back to the point. The devil has tricks, and she's one of them. So, when we used to live in the same state, she would randomly... Like, because... Sometimes, I will admit, I was the asshole. I was the reason why I got blocked. But other times, she would be, like, in a relationship or some shit like that, block me, and then, like, block me while she's still in the mid-relationship. And I don't know if she'd cheat on the man with me or do whatever she'd do, but she'd still do that. Or she'd, like, get in a relationship, move out of state, come back, blah this, blah that. And then, like, unblock me, talk to me, add me on this, add me on that. Like, we had this... It was not healthy. I'm just gonna, as simple as I'm trying to explain it was not healthy what we had. And I still wanted to date her after that. Because, like, to me, I'm like, you're the most consistent, inconsistent thing that I have. Why don't we date? I don't know why it made sense to me, but it did. I'm like, why not? Why not? You already know I'm a fucking monster, and you kind of love me, don't you? Maybe? I don't know. But she said no, so I guess no. So, like, I didn't, like, we still fucked past, like, the me trying to make her into a significant other and stuff like that. But, like, in my head, it just, like, registered something like, so we could fuck for this long, you don't want shit to do with me. Look, I'll be horny sometimes, she'll be horny too. I can't be upset. Sometimes I don't like to use my hands. TMI, I don't use lotion. Yeah, I just raw dog my shit. The main reason why is cleanup is a lot more fast and efficient. I literally am thinking of a reasoning, like the one time, and I said the one time, I could probably count on one hand how many times I've actually used lotion to beat my shit. And one of the reasons why I stopped using lotion is because, story time. So, I remembered when we used to live in Midland, the fucking 3-story house. I say it like that because it didn't look like 3 stories, because there was a basement, there's a main floor, and a little bit of upstairs. We lived in a house that was a 2-story house. It looked more like a 3-story house than the 3-story house that we lived in. I don't know, make that make sense. Back to the point. I just remember being in that 3-story house in Midland, and I can't remember what the fuck David did to his fucking hair. But I remembered I was in my room, he was in his, and out of nowhere, the door fucking flew open. I had my laptop up on my lap and everything like that, and this nigga came in my room and was like, hey, can you help me wrap my hand? And how do I could kind of do like a visual representation a little bit better. So I had this fucking blanket on me and shit like that, you know, just about ready to get my meat beat and shit like that. Got lotion on my hand and shit like that. Got the laptop right here. I know where the door swings open and my laptop goes from here like this. And like, hey, can you wrap my hand for me or something like that? Because I can't remember what it was. It had to have been like a fucking basketball injury or some shit like that. And I say it like that because every time he did basketball, I swear he got injured. I told him, if you ever went pro in any sport, don't fucking do basketball. That nigga could have done pro in any sport he wanted to. Just don't do basketball because that motherfucker always hurts you. I don't know what he does nowadays. But either way, I just remembered him asking me to wrap his hand ever since then I made that mental note. Yeah, I don't need lotion. Don't need lotion. So yeah, I just beat my meat raw. But I use a condom when I fuck bitches. And I don't even catch a name. That's the weirdest thing about me. I be fucking women, don't even ask their name, don't kiss them, nothing like that. I'm really weird when I do shit. I'm basically like a robot with abilities to add personality. How much personality you want? Do you want a level 5? A level 10? A level 1. I've got whatever you need, but nothing that you want. And it's fine. At the end of the day, well, whenever the day ends, I will be deceased. Now, whether you love me or hate me, I did my best to be. Not your enemy, not your friend, just a person existing. I tried to make a connection. But there seems to be a lag in this world. Now, rather if it's what I speak, or rather it's what I see. Actions speak louder than words. Say what you mean and mean what you say. And most people say mean things, but don't mean what they say, and don't do what they mean. So therefore, I feel right to cause a scene. But a madman thinks different than most people do. And I was a madman even before I knew what a madman did do. So I do my best not to be a problem. And I'd be a problem sometimes. I love how she looks. If that's as deep as I go, I guess I'll leave you be, darling. I see no reason to harm you. I don't even try to. Some people love to be hurt. But I'm not a predator that hunts for victims. I almost want to say I'm a predator that hunts for peace. But I don't feel like I'm a predator. That doesn't mean it's not true. It just means I see myself differently than you do. Am I a predator because I have a penis? Or am I a predator because of the mindset? I don't know. I just know, even when I do have the money, I ain't never getting this mind checked. Look like palm trees. It is what it is until it isn't. And I'm very fortunate I always have options to make things that are and things that aren't. Now, whether you love me or you hate me, it is what it is. Whether it's business or personal, I'll never know what it is.